Hi, I'm Deborah,
And I'm Lawrence.
and in this video we're going to talk about some quiet fidget toys for kids with ADHD. And actually this could apply to adults with ADHD, especially at work. But anyway, we're going to more or less talk about kids. The reason we're talking about this, and we've talked about in another video, is that ADHD can in some cases lead to depression. There are a few reasons, but one of the biggest reason, I think you probably agree, is the disapproval and disciplining and negative feedback that kids get at school. Partly, sometimes it's because they're talking without raising their hand or something like that. But a lot of times it's because of their fidgeting in class. And the thing is that this is not something they can control. You probably know, if you're the parent of a kid with ADHD, they can't control it. They don't even notice they're doing it. Sometimes I'll say to Lawrence, you're jiggling your knee, and he won't really even notice that he's been doing it. So a couple of things to know about fidgeting in kids and adults with ADHD. It is a release of energy. Or a way to release energy. But it also actually helps someone with ADHD to focus. This may sound counterintuitive.
Yeah, I mean, for example, I struggle to focus on something if I'm just meant to just sit there. So I often do. I do something. I usually just I don't know, fidget with my hands or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, your knee.
Yeah, which is happening right now. My knee is bouncing right now.
Yeah, and I mean, I, for instance, was in a meeting last week, and I don't have a pen to demonstrate, but I was doing this with a pen, like twisting it back and forth in my fingers. What may explain this to some extent, this whole thing with the relationship between the fidgeting and the concentration, is the fact that people with ADHD actually focus better on one thing when they're doing something else at the same time. And, in the same way with the fidgeting helping the concentration, this may seem counterintuitive, but it's just that our brains are wired differently. So one thing that's really important is for you, if you're the parent of a child with ADHD, is to understand these things, because you can actually see this for yourself. If your child's doing homework and you give them something to play with while they're doing the homework, something that connects with them, then you might notice that they actually are doing a better job. Or if you let them sit on an exercise ball while they're doing their homework and they can bounce up and down a little, it actually helps the concentration. So this is not just the natural energy of children. Like all children have tons and tons of energy. And but this is not the same thing because it goes into adulthood. So the problem is that classrooms and offices are not the kind of place where you can use fidget toys. Fidget toys make noise. I was looking over the years at fidget toys, and the problem is they all make noise. And I didn't understand how these could possibly be recommended for kids in classrooms, because what's going to happen is the teacher is going to get annoyed, and sometimes the other kids are going to get annoyed at the noise. And I never really understood why people were suggesting these things like these metal things, like metal stuff, and like the fidget spinners. I mean, that has a lot of movement that's going to distract people. So I never really understood some of those suggestions. Did you? I mean, because I knew
there's definitely ones that I don't quite understand.
Yeah, I knew immediately the first thing was that a teacher was going to get irritated, no question. What we did is we looked at some, to find some things that could be quiet fidget toys. So they're not like traditional, what you think of as fidget toys, but now everyone's different, but these could actually serve the same purpose for your child. or if you're an adult, for you in the office, because I know for me they have helped a lot. So this is Tangle. So what it is it's actually pieces.
Now this is something which, we were just talking about how fidget toys tend to be loud. This does make noise.
Oh yeah, if you pull it apart, but that's not how you would use it, and that's not how you use it in the office. You immediately pull them apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I do this with them, like I just
No, I know that.
wind my hands back and forth, and so when I'm at work, it actually, or when I used to be in the office, it actually would help a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But it really doesn't make any noise like this. It's soft rubber. And also it's something to look at, which is, which can help a lot when you have ADHDs. I honestly have all my phone cases have glitter in them. So when I'm bored, which comes around more when you have ADHD, I have something to distract me. He immediately pulls those apart. So obviously, that's not the best use of them as a quiet fidget toy. But doing this really, at least for me, really works well. And again, it's all about finding what works for you or for your child. So those are good. They come in. Oh, that's cool. Never know. Oh, so you,
That's the main reason I pull it apart is to wrap it up like that.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah. See. So then he's only pulling it apart one time. So then you could wind and unwind it. I mean, it's I don't know. It helps keep you distracted to some extent. And it's like if you have one part of your mind that's distracted, sometimes it frees up. When you have ADHD, it frees up the rest of your mind. But the main thing is to keep the kid out of trouble. And to keep their energy diverted, somewhere.
Mm.
So these are good. These come in a lot of different colors. They come in different sizes. There is one that's metal, which probably won't be the best.
Yeah.
But they're pretty decent. So the other thing that I really like, Crazy Aaron's Thinking Putty, and there are all different kinds. Oh, that's weird.
It's kind of a
cool.
What the hell?
It's got something underneath. So this is what? Okay, yeah. You pull that off.
Extract whatever that. Give me this in the container.
So this is just two. We have these two. These are just two of many different kinds, and they're made with silicone, so they don't dry out like regular putty. So
is it a black light or is it just a blue color?
Oh,
light?
It probably is a black light. So this one actually, this one comes with a black light. What's good about these is they also, like some of them have glitter in them. So that's something also that can distract someone with ADHD or give them something to focus on. They have smaller ones. So this, I like the big ones because my hands are pretty big, and the small ones, they have mini ones and mini tins. But so then when I'm at work, I just tell people it's for strengthening hands. Since at work you probably don't want to. A lot of people obviously don't want to divulge that they have ADHD. But so for kids, you would probably want to get the mini tins. They sell them like three at a bundle. So they're it's quiet except for a little bit of cracking once in a while. So but it's still, compared to some fidget toys, it's a lot better.
That's true.
So anyway, so this is one of them with its own black light, which is kind of interesting.
I'm taking this.
So you can see how this is, I mean, at least for me, maybe it's just me. It's like the glitter for me is really distracting, and just doing this, it does release that it's kinetic release of energy.
It does not stay clear very long. It gets cloudy very quick.
So it gets cloudy, but then when you leave it alone, it
sometimes
unclouds. So that's the Thinking Putty. Then we got actually this in a couple of buddy boxes. This is pretty plain, but this is fragranced.
Yeah,
so this is actually more like putty.
It's
get it out.
Aromatic dough.
Yeah. So this is
Oh yeah, I pressed it down as much. So
You did?
Yeah.
No wonder I can't get it out.
I had this at my desk and I like pressed it down so it filled like the entire bottom of the thing and the walls just because I liked how that looked.
Okay, so that's why I can't get it out of the tin. But the thing
No,
is,
you're just bad.
one thing about this stuff is you can actually make this. You could make this and infuse it with whatever essential oils that your child likes or that you like, if this is for you. And you can also make it different colors.
So what's that about not being able to get it out?
Well, I said I couldn't get it out. So anyway,
Like I said, you're just bad.
Yeah. So it's obviously less flashy than the thinking putty, but it's something you can make yourself.
And it smells good.
And it smells good. If there is an essential oil that your child finds really calming, like, obviously a lot of people find lavender calming. Some people find like orange calming and stuff like that. So then you could infuse it. And so we'll put a link to some recipes below. So that's a good option too, especially because you can make it. Now the Aaron's Thinking Putty, it's hard to make because it does have silicone in it, and I honestly haven't found a recipe that uses silicone. And the other thing, of course, is slime. And slime.
Oh, Lord. Have fun with that. I'm not touching it.
Slime. Sometimes some slime people then put little charms and stuff in, which can be really good for again, something that can distract kids with ADHD. Distract them into being able to pay attention a little better. So this is your typical slime. It's a different texture. The good thing about slime is that you can make this yourself also. There are a million recipes for slime. And you can also, fragrance it with, I don't know how essential oils would work, but it does have a fragrance, kind of like green apple. Yeah, this one is good slime. Okay. Anyway, but a lot of people, as I said, they put these charms in them, and then it's...
Those are literally just sprinkles.
Yeah, they're sprinkles, but they're also charms that I actually have a bag of them that and people put in because then it makes it a little more interesting. The other thing I found, so this is something that may or may not work.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't have the same properties. Like you can't, you can pull it, but it's not the same thing. But it is something that, first of all, doesn't make noise. It can be worn as a bracelet, but it also has these acupressure things on it. See, that's a big reason for it. These are called monkey rings. And acupressure actually is something like we've used acupressure rings before in
my hands are too big for this.
Well, yeah, we've used acupressure rings before.
Those are good.
Those are really nice.
We have them somewhere, but
we have them somewhere. But that's another possibility.
They're small enough to get lost.
I will put a link to those below. But so this is something. But so the problem with an acupressure ring is that you end up doing exactly the same thing with it, which is just rolling up and down your finger. And that's not really enough variety generally for someone with ADHD.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah. But I mean, that's why this is good. There's a variety of things you can do with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, everyone's different. So it's just a matter of finding what works. I mean, it may just be that this stuff calms your child. It may not be actually as good, it may not be a good fidget toy, but it may actually calm them down. The other thing, as I suggested, is exercise balls. Now, exercise balls are beginning to appear in some schools. I would not recommend them if your child is not on ADHD medication, because especially a younger child who's not on ADHD medication with an exercise ball, that is not going to go well. Now, if you have trouble with your school or the teacher refusing even quiet fidget toys, then what you probably want to do is look into getting a 504 plan for your child for ADHD. We did do a video on it. I'll put the link up there. The 504 plan basically makes the school accommodate your child's disability, which is what ADHD is considered a disability. So it's something that can be a real pain in the behind to get, but I'd say it's worth the effort.
So.
Yeah, I mean we did one for Lawrence for his migraines, and so one thing that's really important is the 504 plan. One aspect of it is that the teachers have to get educated about that particular disability, which can be extremely helpful, but also obviously the fact that it then will allow certain things. I mean, it then allows everything from these fidget toys. I mean, there's just tons of things that the 504 plan will then, the doctor will say, these are the accommodations that should be made. So it can, depending on the child's disability and particular, experience with that disability, these are definitely good things to try out. None of them are really expensive. I'd say that especially if you're getting the mini tins, of the thinking putty and this, I don't remember how much is this. I mean, I think to try all of these, it would probably cost you $50. But as I said, you can also make some of these things. So it's definitely worth trying, because if it works, it can be a real help to your child. Because again, the negative feedback they get from everyone is what can often lead to the depression. So, and just that, let's say on top of that, these things help them to focus, then that helps their schoolwork and their whole experience. So, these are definitely worth trying out, even if you just make some of your own and see how it works. In most cases, it's going to be better than nothing. Do you know what I mean?
True.
Yeah. So, and honestly, in my meeting the other day, I probably would have been better off bringing like this in and saying, I just need to, this helps me think, or something like that. Instead of, I was like wildly twirling my pen back and forth, which was extremely distracting, I'm sure, for the people I was meeting with. So it's like, try everything. These are some of the types of things you should try.
Well, if you found this video helpful, you can give it a like. If you didn't, you can give it a dislike. If you want to say anything at all, you can leave in the form of a comment. And if you'd like to see more of this content, you're welcome to subscribe. But in any case, we hope that you have a nice day.
Take care.